What's up, Steam It, YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, Vote, you know, all you cyber people. What are you up to? Today I'm going to do my crypto and tech blog outside because it's just beautiful out here. It's a perfect temperature right now. Actually, it's already starting to cool down a little bit. I got these raspberries growing up here. Look at these happy raspberries coming in. See all these here? These little flowers? Those are all baby raspberries. Those are going to be big raspberries. Today, me and the kids picked like 20 strawberries out of the strawberry patch today. I had those for breakfast this morning. Got my kiwi vine coming in over there. There's a blueberry plant down there too. So much stuff. Look at the honeysuckle. It's going crazy. Look at that honeysuckle. So there's an Asian pear tree. I love my yard. I love this yard. The kids love this yard too. I don't have the kids today though. They're visiting mom today. So good for them. Go visit mom, you kids. So, I have a lot of people always ask me, because I do a lot of IT. I was the IT director for a little while for like 13 school districts. It's kind of a crazy job. And I've managed some other data centers and stuff like that. And people ask me sometimes, they say, hey, what should I do? I'm a computer person, I'm kind of good with computers, and I want to take it to the next level. So what cert should I get? What certification should I get? And, I gotta tell you, if you even come at me and tell me about any cert at all, you're out. I don't want to hear about it. You're gone. Certs are useless. I refuse to acknowledge them or respect anybody who has them or talks about them. If you can't actually do the work yourself, whatever it is, whether it's Cisco routers or servers or whatever it is, if you can't actually go do that work, people who are good at that kind of stuff, they don't have certs, because they're out there doing it. There's some more raspberries in here. Look at those raspberries. The deer kind of get these ones because they're out beyond the fence. So these raspberries get a little bit of abuse from the deer. Look at this. This one seems like it's doing all right though, despite being in deer territory. There's one big one over there too. Yeah, should I get a Cisco cert? Should I get an Apple cert? Should I get a Microsoft cert? No, don't get any of those certs. Go and build a network. Go and build a bunch of servers. Go and put those servers under heavy load. Try to make them crash. Make sure your monitoring tells you when they crash and how and why. Read the logs. You know what I mean? Do the work, man. I don't want to hear about a cert. What's a cert going to do? A cert's going to say you sat in some class and paid somebody some money. You know what I mean? And that doesn't impress me, frankly. Look at that. That's an apple right there. Under the apple tree here. There's another apple up there. Another round. Apples on the trees here. It's a different kind of mining, huh? It's not crypto. It's food mining. We're out here food mining. It's different than crypto. By the way, if you followed anything on the Genesis mining, Dash 11 mining contracts are back open. Now, I don't like... Well, I guess Dash 11 mining is supposed to be one of the most profitable ones on Genesis mining. So, if you're gonna do it, do it. I upgraded my hash a little bit on Genesis mining today for Dash 11, but I'm kind of bummed though that it's it's a 2-year contract and not an unlimited contract. I really like how the Bitcoin one is an unlimited contract. I just think that's a lot cooler. And that's why the main thing I do is Bitcoin contract. I don't want to brag about this. These are invasive Himalayan blackberries, but every one of these little flowers is going to be blackberries. That's a blackberry coming in right there. So this is an invasive species. I'm actually trying to get rid of it. I've mowed this way back, but it just comes back. It comes back relentlessly. I mean, look at this. This is nature's razor wire here. Each one of these is firm too. I mean, those aren't even flexible. I mean, I'm pushing that, I'm a 200-pound dude pushing on that, and it ain't even moving. So, yeah, you do not want to run into that vine. But look at how many blackberries there's going to be here. Look at all these little green blackberries in there. See them all? Those are all blackberries coming in there. But I'm still going to kill the hell out of that vine. Maybe I'll wait till after we eat all those blackberries, then I'll kill that vine. It's Himalayan blackberries, an invasive species all over the country, really, but especially in Oregon. It really takes over around here. This is the right climate for it. And the deer don't mess with it. The deer eat everything. but not the Himalayan blackberries. So yeah, I mean, I would go to Genesis Mining and get some dash mining hash power out there. Here's one of the apple trees we planted. Looks like it's got some leaves on it, so it might survive. We'll see. That was an experiment. I didn't pay for those or anything. Here's one of the cherry trees we planted. Now this tree here is interesting. It's kind of dead, but you can see there's leaves coming out the bottom here. So obviously the tree itself is alive, even though the rest of it apparently is not. Somehow that one died. I think it was dead before we got it, but I didn't realize when we bought it down at the store. Here's another cherry tree we planted. This guy's happy. See, I got my deer protection up, so had to learn that one the hard way. The deer killed one of my peach trees last year. Stupid deer. I'm telling you. Ecologists are calling this the deer apocalypse. There's another cherry tree we planted. These ones here are Lambert cherries, that kind of dark red ones. That one looks really happy and healthy. Yeah, I wish there was an unlimited dash mining contract or an unlimited ETC mining contract. I would definitely go on for that. Yeah, so I mean, you know, a lot of people ask me, how do you get better at computers? How do you learn that stuff? These are grapevines right here. Here's another kiwi in here because this came outside the fence. The deer got it, although most of this kiwi plant's still pretty happy back here, so that's gonna be all right. Just these branches got trimmed by the stupid deer. More raspberries, more blueberries. Got a bunch more over on the other side of the yard too. Kind of deer protected. Just do it yourself, you know? Build an actual network. Take an old laptop, install a hypervisor on it. You can either do, I like Proxmox. It's open source, it's free. That's a chicken coop behind me. You can also do ESXi. That's kind of like an industry standard one, right? VMware. It's the free VMware one. You could do whatever the Microsoft hypervisor is. I don't know, because I don't use Microsoft products. So I don't support that corporation or their partnership with the NSA. Negative. So install a hypervisor, and a hypervisor is like a master OS, if you don't know, that you can install a bunch of other computers on, right? A bunch of virtual machines on. I would recommend Proxmox. That's my favorite one. It's free. It's easy. It's kind of a nag where every time you log in, it gives you this little screen saying, hey, you didn't buy a license, so you can go buy a license and get rid of that if you want, or just use it for free like I do. I don't pay them. You know, I don't get any support out of them either, so... But I've been using it for a few years now, so it's darn easy to use. You know, it's Debian based, so it's pretty robust. Although I don't trust Debian anymore. Obviously, I'm all Dev1 now. And then install some servers on it. You know, install. I recommend Dev1. It's Debian without the systemd junk. And I've been following some other sysadmins, and it turns out I think that we are definitely correct in our initial speculation that systemd was a bad move for Debian, definitely, probably for any OS. But I've been following some other sysadmins online, and they found all kinds of vulnerabilities, instabilities, issues with systemd. I mean, remote exploits, like serious security concerns with systemd and Debian. So, yeah, so. Turns out, I don't know if it's too early to toot my own horn on that, but I was right. Don't use Debian. Don't use anything with systemd. Don't use CentOS. Don't use any of that junk. Just because it's Linux doesn't mean it's good. I mean, it means it's better than Windows or Apple for sure, but it doesn't mean it's actually good. Yeah, but Dev1, man, I've installed a bunch of Dev1 servers now. They've been super reliable, super efficient. I mean, it's like Debian 7 before they took the systemd poison pill. So, yeah, so install your hypervisor, Proxmox, ESXi, one of those. What's the Microsoft one? Azure or something? Or is that Amazon? I can't remember. I don't use the corporate products, you know. I use the free stuff, you know. If something goes wrong with the free stuff, I can get in there. I can read the logs myself. I can look at it. I can fix it myself. I don't need to call somebody else, you know. I can see directly with my own... command line search what's up with it. So why would I pay somebody else to go look, you know, to try and get support for that kind of stuff? This seems like a waste of money and a waste of time. And plus, I mean, if you're letting somebody else manage part of your systems, it's out of your control, and if it's still your neck that's going to get chopped, you know, your head that's going to get chopped for a mess up, I just don't trust those corporations, you know? I mean, half the time you call Cisco for support or Microsoft for support or whoever for support. Let me tell you something, my friend. You know what I mean? You get transferred to India. There's some guy who, you know, what, he's got a Cisco cert or something, you know what I mean? A worthless cert, like we talked about earlier. And you don't always end up getting, you know, top. I've had good support, especially from Cisco in particular, but man, I've never had good support from Microsoft, Google, Amazon, none of them. You call them, you're lucky if you get a person ever. And when you do get a person, they're like, they have this script and they run it through, and the whole point of that script is just to get you off the phone. That's it. So it's like, you're better off doing it yourself. And besides, if you do it yourself, you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? So yeah, install Proxmox, some other hypervisor, install a bunch of servers, and make a mail server, make a file server, make that file server, you know, not just a local Samba file server, but also, you know, make it an FTP server and an own cloud, you know. I mean, just do some experiments, you know, try and put them through their paces, try to secure them, try to break them, set up a monitoring server. I like Ichinga a lot, which is a fork of Nagios, but you know, you could always do Nagios or some other monitoring software. There's a bunch of different options in that space. I tend to use what I'm familiar with, and I tend to use what's been reliable for me in the past. And man, an Ichinga instance on a Dev1 or Debian 7 or before server is really been solid for me. So that's one of the things I use. Look at these chickens. You know, I got 15 eggs in the last 2 days. We got 10 chickens, 10 hens. I had to kill the rooster. It was sad. It's kind of a sad story, but I had to kill the rooster. It was mean. Cut up my little girl. Killed the rooster. We got 10 hens, though, and I got 15 eggs in the last 2 days. 15. Maybe more. Was there more than 15? Yeah, there was more. There was 16. 16 eggs in 2 days. So, you know, 16 eggs, that's free protein, you know. That's enough for a family of 4 to eat on, probably no problem. Plus with all the strawberries and raspberries, apples, Asian pears, you know, a couple of years we'll probably start getting grapes and kiwis, blueberries. You know, we're starting to get some blueberries, but not very many. But in a couple of years we will. Plus, all up the side of that mountain, there's chanterelles in the fall. So many chanterelles, just free mushrooms, free eats. It's great living in the Pacific Northwest, especially in the summertime. I'm thinking about maybe being a snowbird, maybe getting some cheap property somewhere down south. I don't know, Costa Rica, Cambodia. I don't know. I've been shopping, but maybe get some cheap property down south and just being a snowbird. Living here in the summer, spring, summer, early fall, and then living somewhere else in the winter. Somewhere where it's cheap to live, really cheap to live. I mean, I'm making $100 a day on Bitcoin right now. In Cambodia, it'd make me a damn millionaire. So, yeah. Help me shop for property in Cambodia. I guess that's it for today's vlog. Get into virtualization, start building servers. You know, forget about certs, man. If you want to get into computers, learn the stuff. Build it yourself, break it yourself, figure out why it broke, look at the logs. Make sure your monitoring server is telling you when it breaks. You know what I mean? But don't get any certs. That's just a waste of time and money. All right, later.